right and left wings respectively. Onto the stick of Jimmy Watson to Bob Daly to Bob Clark. Knocked down nicely by Mike Milbury. Lonsbury did not get a piece of it. This will be icing when it's touched by Gary Doak. Leach, the icing is off. Oh, threw it out to Clark. Milbury can't clear. Clark keeps it in. Leach is free. So is Lonsbury. Clark shot. Pushed into front. Whistled wide. Daly tries to dump it into the corner. Here come the Bruins, but Daly hustling back for Philadelphia. The Boston Bruins over the line. Schwartz spun around by Jimmy Watson. Taken down. Marcotte shot. Ridden off beautifully by the back-checking Reggie Leach. Daly goes around the board to Lonsbury. He pulls it back, give away to John Rattel. A lot of folks in front. Daly knocks it down. Cleared but not out. Milbury tries to tee it up. Off to Schwartz. Will have to do a turnaround on Clark. Throws it into the corner. Daly lets it go. No fire there. Mike Milbury. Good stick save by goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Clark gets it to Lonsbury. He lofts it into the Boston Bruins zone.
Flyers forwards getting caught a little bit too high in the zone when the puck is in there, and their defensemen not having good control of it. But Reggie Leach made two excellent plays earlier, and coming back, of course, and stopping Marcotte from getting a good shot off on Wayne Stevenson. As we pick it up on the here's the save right here. It's a little bit after that. Stevenson making the stick save and going over the boards to Lonsbury. But then he also did a good play offensively when he raced in and outraced the Boston defense to get in there, and the icing was waved off.
Greg Shepard takes the draw, wins it. Joe Watson gets a stick down off the Gary. Dornhofer tries to beat Wayne Cashman to the puck, and Dornhofer controls, pulls up behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Off to Barber, kept in nicely by Brad Clark. Shepard spun around. McLeish can't find the handle, but Billy Barber does. Flyers can come out 2-on-2, but Barber has to retreat back into his own zone. Headman's to Gary Dornhofer. Cashman takes a run at Dornhofer. McLeish leaves it go for Barber. Onside with Joe Watson trailing. Tries to take it into the corner. Stood up nicely by Rick Smith, as it is Tommy Bladen trying to keep it in the zone, but Rick McLeish gets it for Philadelphia. Looks to Joe Watson, comes back to Bladen, to Dornhofer onside. Throws it, tees it up, holds, throws it to Billy Barber. Comes back to Tommy Bladen. Good shot, good pad save. Dornhofer tries to hold it to the corner and does. Oh, the Flyers had a great opportunity. The Bruins coming 2-on-1. Cashman. Shepard, hold, to Shepard, shot, great save, into the corner, Shepard controls, drops it off for O'Reilly, McLeish there for Philadelphia, out in front, nobody there but Gary Dornhofer. End-to-end action by Philadelphia and Boston.
Oh, what sustained action, and both saves by Cheevers and Stevenson kept this game tied at 1.
Cashman shot, great pad save by Wayne Stevenson, as Don Selesky takes out O'Reilly. And McNabb, but it's Bladen for Philadelphia. Headman's it to neutral ice, where hustling back is Stan Jonathan. Icing the ball, and it's touched by Jonathan.
Philadelphia getting caught out a little bit disorganized in their zone still, but excellent play by both teams, to bring these fans to their seats. But Stevenson came by and made that save on Greg Shepard, and it was an amazing save. And Tommy Bladen right there to fall and cover up on the rebound. Best thing to do when you've got that offensive threat coming at you and you have trouble getting it out is get it down the ice as quickly as possible and slow things down.
Flyers and Bruins in a tight checking game, mistake prone to a degree as far as Philadelphia, Bobby, in their own zone, constantly giving the puck away. Stan Jonathan, Peter McNabb, and John Winsing. Puck goes onto the stick of Rick LaPointe. Headmans it nicely to Don Selesky. Bridgman is on the left wing. Selesky can't find the handle. Knocked down offside as Milbury and Selesky trying to go at each other, but that's the extent of it.
Out of the 11 shots that Philadelphia took,
there goes Milbury. Moose DuPont. Shoving match started there. A little 2-minute roughing job, I guess. LaPointe has Winsing by the collar. A couple of big guys, Mike Milbury and Moose DuPont for Philadelphia.
Both of them just dancing there. Two big bears going at it. There's LaPointe and John Winsing kind of having some threatening glances at each other.
Mel Bridgman and Peter McNabb, as LaPointe and Winsing just looking at each other more than anything. Boris Kinderchuk is squared off with Gary Doak. And Big Don Selesky on Stan Jonathan. Wally Harris says, let's go, let's get the gloves and sticks, or you're going to go to the penalty box.
And there's two other sets that are kind of pulling the jerseys. Wrestling around a bit, Kinderchuk and Doak, Jonathan and Selesky. The point, Winsick. Everybody breaks clean.
So DuPont is in the penalty box along with Mike Milbury, and we have a delay in the action. I would assume 2 minutes roughing for each player, Bob.
I think so. There wasn't very many punches thrown. In fact, I don't think there was one, but you saw a shot from our camera there of all the sticks in the glove on ice. And that is one scene that is always connotated with the game called hockey.
Milbury and DuPont are off, as we indicated, roughing at the 2:38 mark. Here in the middle period, as the Boston Bruins have cranked it up 3 times on Wayne Stevenson, who has made some great saves. While the Bruins, Philadelphia cranked it twice, the Bruins 3 times. We're still in a 1-1 hockey game. So both teams will go 4 aside. Daly, Jim Watson, Bob Clark, and Reggie Leach, John Rattel, Bob Schmatz, Brad Park, and number 23, Rick Smith for the Bruins. 4 against 4. Early in the middle period. Clark and Rattel to take the draw just at the red dot in neutral ice. Clark gets a piece of it. Rattel in turn. Clark holds, looks for a breaking Jimmy Watson. Holds, skates away from Brad Park, lost it into the corner to Clark. Spots Reggie Leach, tries to come around the board to Daly with Clark in front. In turn goes to Leach, spun around nicely by Rattel, gets it to Leach. Clark hustles for the puck. Jimmy Watson is free. Clark tries to come back to Reggie Leach and does. Leach tries to go off the board to Daly, but Rattel intercepts for Boston. They're coming 2-on-2 with back-checking Clark and Leach for Philadelphia. Daly stands up John Rattel. Leach has the puck for Philadelphia. Moves around John Rattel. Stick handling is Reggie Leach. Has Rick Smith to beat. To Daly over the line. Back to the rifle. Back to Bob Daly. Closes. Daly to Jimmy Watson. But Clark was at the right point, and Rattel will have to do it 2-on-4. Swept away nicely by Big Bob Daly to Jimmy Watson. Dornhofer on for Philadelphia as Bob Clark is in the zone by Jimmy Watson to Clark. Skates away and back to Jimmy Watson. Tees it up. Hustling forward is Daly. He starts with the puck. Daly, great shot, loose in front, into the corner. Dornhofer hustling for Philadelphia. Avoids a check by Brad Park. Still stick handles. Moves away from Brad Park. Should come out to the deep right point. Daly, 20-footer. Oh, getting a piece of Jerry Cheevers.
And Jerry Cheevers and Gary Dornhofer had an intense battle going on there, and both of them are saying things to each other. And nothing's going to come of it, but they're really talking it up. Both of them have been around a long time, and here we see the replay. Jerry Cheevers lost his stick right here, and here comes Daly. Right out in front of the net, Cheevers goes to his knees and makes a super save, and of course Rick Smith there to clear the rebound away. Dornhofer doing a lot of the work here on this offensive drive. Makes a super pass right on the stick of Bob Daly, and this stick goes in, and Cheevers makes the save off his glove hand over the glass, and the face-off to his left.
McLeish tries to throw it into the corner. Rick Smith right there along with Billy Barber, but Smith comes away with the puck. Most of the action sustained in front of goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Rick Smith headmans it to Marcotte, losing it to Barber. Knocked down by Greg Shepard, but Tom Blade intercepts for Philadelphia. Off to Joe Watson, still in the Philadelphia zone. Goes wing to wing to Tom Blade. Stick handles around Marcotte. Barber is free in the left wing. A little too far for him. Hustling back is Gary Doak. Bill Barber right there for Philadelphia, but Doak comes away with the puck. Headmans it to Greg Shepard. McLeish tries to get a stick down, kick free, and McLeish takes out Shepard. Bladen for Philadelphia. Pulls it back, loses it to Shepard, and in turn it comes back to the point. Rick Smith tries to throw it into the corner for Greg Shepard. Spun around by Tom Bladen. Still controlled. Comes back to Rick Smith. Closes. Shot. Knocked down and under the stick of Moose DuPont is out of the penalty box. Headmans it for Rick McLeish over his stick, but Cheevers clears. Throws it back into the Philadelphia zone. This will be icing when it's touched up by Tom Blake. Oh, it's waves off. Holmgren looks up to Bob Kelly. Lars Kinderchuk. Back to Holmgren. Stick handles around Cashman. Over the line. Kelly Brick. Hooked into the corner by Milbury. Two big guys go for the puck. Kinderchuk has Kelly in front. Knocked down by Peter McNabb. Around the board, Daly tries to keep it in, can't find the handle. Schmutz comes away, but Daly gets back, intercepted by Jimmy Watson and Paul Holmgren. Holmgren throws it into the Bruin zone. Good effort on the part of Philadelphia. Milbury behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Around the board, Watson keeps it in the Boston zone. Shot!
Jimmy Watson made the play along the boards. Boston players were cut too far up to their zone here. He wants to keep getting the puck. Jimmy Watson staying at home like we said so many times. Picked up that pass along the boards, fired it on Cheevers, and you see Watson moving in to make the play. Takes the shot, it hits the goalpost behind Cheevers, comes right out front. Kinnerchuck's right there, puts it home. Philadelphia leads this game 2-1. The play was made by number 20, Jimmy Watson, along the left board.
Boston Bruins down 2-1. Mike Milbury throws it into the Philadelphia zone where Moose DuPont throws it off the boards to O'Kinderchuk. Kelly breaking, a little too far, but knocked down by Park. On the DuPont stick. Still stick handles for Philadelphia. Tripped up and throws it into the Bruins zone. Kelly with Kinderchuk free in front. Can't get a stick down. Take it into the goal crease. Boston clears, back to neutral ice. DuPont waits for Kinderchuk to clear. Headman's at the point, offside. As Kinderchuk was trapped in the Boston zone.
Kinnerchuck had his skate caught up in the goal there, and these fans are going crazy. .535 the time of that goal by Orest Kinderchuk. Jimmy Watson getting the assist. Philadelphia up 2-1. There we see a shot of linesman Leon Stickle. Reggie Leach, Bobby Clark out there for the Flyers. Monty Heikman, 28. Don Winstick, 18. And number 24, Terry O'Reilly for Boston.
Clark gets it back to Joe Watson, right back into the Boston Bruins zone, off the glass. Clark moves around Howard. In comes Wessink, getting a piece of it off to Howard. Clark there as Brad Clark takes Clark out. Ross Lonsbury tries to beat O'Reilly to it. In comes Howard. Clark frees it up. Controls for Philadelphia. Tries to throw it in the slot, and Wessink is there for the Boston Bruins. Moves around Reggie Leach, back is Lonsbury, too far, and this will be icing when it's touched up by Joe Watson.
Boston Bruins are using mainly 4 defensemen with the odd shift. Doug Howard, number 29, being sent in, but this is his first action tonight. We saw that against Toronto when Toronto went exclusively with Salming, Turnbull, Mike Pellick, and Randy Carlyle, and it seemed to wear down the Toronto foursome near the latter stages of the series. And I don't know if this will be the same case here with Boston because they're used to a grind-em-out physical type game, and maybe they might be a little bit more stronger than Toronto. But that will only tell as this series progresses.
Flyers with 6 shots in this period, the Boston Bruins with 4, and Orest Kinderchuk, Jim Watson with the assist, but Paul Holmgren parked right on Jerry Cheevers' doorstep, had a lot to do with that goal too, Bob.
I'll say, you got those big guys camped all over you. It makes it tough for a goaltender to keep his concentration.
Rattel loses to Kelly. Oh! Stands on the shot. Can't get it off. Taken down. And finally, it is Schmutz clearing the neutral ice where it is. Big Bob Daly for Philadelphia. Off to Bob Clark. With the puck. Looks for Daly breaking. Stick handles around Rattel. Off to Bob Kelly onside. Takes it into the Bruins zone. Looks for Clark breaking. And Clark with a stoppage of play hangs on.
Bob Kelly is really playing with a lot of poise and confidence as far as his puck handling is concerned. He usually, years past, I think this must be why he had such a great year this year. He used to get that puck and then he used to throw it away quickly, not looking to see if there was an open man. But this year he didn't. He hung on to that puck and he made the plays, and it has turned out his best year ever. And there was a good example of what he's been doing all year, hanging on to that puck, and then feeding it into the slot. And Cheevers had to cover up for a face-off.
Orest Kinderchuk to take the draw with John Rattel. It is Bob Schmutz at right wing, and at left wing is Don Marcotte. Selesky and Bridgman. Bridgman playing left wing on this line. Selesky controls for Philadelphia, looks for Bridgman, throws it in on Jerry Cheevers, knocked down. Bridgman for Philadelphia. Selesky and Littell spun around. Smith clears but not out. No, Kinderchuk moves around Littell, loses to Boston Bruins' Rick Smith. Here they come 3-on-3. To Schmaltz over the line. Fakes the 40-footer. Throws it in. Off the glass. Getting there first on Marcotte. Off the boards. Moose Dupont and Schmaltz in a foot race. Schmaltz almost gives it up and does to O. Kinderchuk. Kinderchuk skating away from John Littell. We'll be happy with a face-off there, and that's what we get.
Bill Bridgman and Don Selesky got a little bit mixed up there on which side of the rink they were supposed to play, who was playing the right side or the left side, and that's what constituted. There was no man on the left side there for the defenseman to fire the puck up there for a clearing pass. Had to hold on for a face-off. There you see a good shot on Freddie Sherrill, and his playoff record with the Flyers, 41 wins, 27 defeats. Not a bad coaching record with the money glasses.
And hopefully not another overtime game, Bob. Couldn't handle another one of those.
Although we haven't done it yet.
But just watching is tough enough.
That's hard in the old bumper, I'll tell you.
Cardiac Kids. Okay, Greg Shepard, number 19, will take the draw with Rick McLeish. Rick Middleton at right wing, and the right-handed shooter Wayne Cashman playing left wing for the Bruins. The defense pairing Doug Howard, 29, and number 25, Gary Doak. Dornhofer, Barber, McLeish, loses the draw. Howard throws it in, sticking and staying with it. Goaltender Wayne Stevenson.
What an interesting matchup out here as Jerry and Sherrill match lines. Gary Dornhofer playing on the right side, of course, with Rick McLeish, and Wayne Cashman on the left side with Craig Shepard, and both of them are the similar type players. Both of them like to take the body and grind it out. Who's going to wear down who first?
Middleton loses the handle. Joe Watson takes off Greg Shepard nicely. McLeish comes away with the puck. Karam's off the board to Tommy Bladen. He lofts it out nicely to neutralize. The foot race is on. Rick McLeish coming out Jerry Cheevers, and he hangs on. Face off in the Bruins zone.
Good play. I thought the point there that Tommy lifted up there, you know, you got a guy like Rick McLeish with such great wheels, he can get out there really fast, and that forces those defensemen to really hurry. And when you, any kind of defenseman, I don't care, it can be Larry Robinson, when you're forced and you're hurried, you're going to make mistakes.
12:17 to go in the middle period. One goal by Philadelphia. Oris Kinderchuk coming at the 5:35 mark. Flyers 2 and the Boston Bruins 1. Bob Kelly again on for Philadelphia. Holmgren will play right wing. Kelly left wing. Center iceman will be Oris Kinderchuk. John Wensing is number 18 for the Bruins. Taking the draw is Matty Hagman. Everybody starting to punch up. In comes referee Wally Harris to widen out the troops.
I could never figure out why forwards do that. They get right in on top there. You know, they're not going to get the puck any faster.
Kinderchuk would like to get it back to Daly. Controls, throws it into the corner. Holmgren spun off by Wensing, and away comes Howard. Too far for breaking Terry O'Reilly. Jimmy Watson knocks it down to Bob Kelly. Stick handles for Philadelphia. Throws it off the Paul Holmgren. Hooks it up. 35-footer. Goal!
A perfect shot by the big number 17. Took a good feed by Bob Kelly and just unloaded a shot that went in right inside the post. And believe me, I don't care who you are. You have to be plastic man to get a shot like that. There it is right here. Kelly fighting off number 18 Wensing, who made the mistake by leaving his check to go into the middle. Holmgren unleashing a perfect shot. You see it right there. Bouncing in off the post past Cheevers. Flyers leading 3-1.
Number 20, Jimmy Watson.
Jimmy Watson with his second assist tonight for Paul Holmgren. His first point in Stanley Cup action. Daly knocks it off his skate to Gary Dornhofer. He takes it in deep. Throws it out in front. Nobody there for Philadelphia. McLeish controls again. Back into the corner. Dornhofer beats Bilberry to the puck. Avoids a check taken down by O'Reilly. Jimmy Watson can't find the handle. Bob Daly back for Philadelphia with Stan Jonathan. Goes to the backhand of Billy Barber. Knocks it into the corner. Around 2 Bruins. It's off of Bob Daly. McLeish with the puck. Spots left winger Jimmy Watson. Will do it solo. Wrist shot. Great stick save by goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Flyers putting 4 people in the Boston zone. The Bruins coming 3-on-2. McNabb for O'Reilly. Can't find the handle. In front is Jonathan. He can't get a stick down. Dornhofer and Bilberry. Off to Jimmy Watson. To Rick McLeish. Bodies all over the place. McLeish one-on-one with Brad Park. Circles. Takes the shot. Oh! Taken off by Rick Smith. Tries to Dornhofer. Tripped up. Dallas Harris is looking the other way. Cheevers stick handles for Boston. Harris, not the Philadelphia favorite. O'Reilly gives it away to Moose DuPont. Backhands it for Reggie Leach. Lonsbury has Leach breaking in the right wing. Foot race is on. Off to Moose DuPont with Leach trailing. The rifle shot. Great save. Moose DuPont lands and hanging on goaltender Jerry Cheevers.
What is sustained action by both teams, and these fans are giving up and giving them a standing ovation. It seems like as soon as the Boston Bruins got behind by 2, up came the body power, and they were trying to throw checks at everybody. They were very concerned with throwing a body check. They left their defense wide open, and there was 2-on-1, 3-on-2 breaks for the last 2 minutes, and that one there, Leach came up with a good shot on Cheevers. The rebound came out, and the puck was bouncing, or else Moose DuPont would have had goal number 4.
3-1 Philadelphia. We are not even midway into the period, Bob.
There we see there's another shot of that goal. Hewitts. Kelly makes the fine pass over to number 17, Paul Holmgren, and Holmgren left wide open by his check, number 18, Winsink, who moved in to check the puck carrier, which is a cardinal sin when you have your both defensemen back, and Holmgren gets it at the top of the circle, lays a perfect shot on goalie Jerry Cheevers, and it's 3-1 Philadelphia.
We have 10:40 to go in the middle period as Bob Clark will take the draw with John Rattel, and I'm sure you can hear "Let's go Flyers." Philadelphia out shooting the Bruins 21-12. We still have 10:40 to go in the period. Rick LaPointe controls for Philadelphia, throws it into the corner, spun around. Clark hustling to beat Rattel to the puck. To Reggie Leach. Doesn't get much mustard on it. Here comes Moose DuPont. Throws it off to Bob Clark. Back to DuPont. Can't find it in his spots. Going wing to wing. Too far for a breaking Marcotte. LaPointe gets a piece of it to Brad Park, to Rattel, spun off by LaPointe, to Lonsbury, and a good play back to neutral ice.
Rick LaPointe made a good defensive play also by taking out the Boston forward bodily, not worrying about the puck. He just took him out. There's a shot of number 11, Bobby Schwartz, who was the big goal scorer for Boston in the series against Los Angeles.
9 goals in this is 8th game in this Stanley Cup playoffs. Clark and Rattel. Goes to Leach, comes back to Joe Watson as Bladen widens out. Stick handling is Joe Watson. Retreats from the forechecking of John Rattel off the board to Lonsbury to Reggie Leach. Backhands it into the zone as he takes a good hit from Doug Howard. Cheevers drops it for Marcotte. Give away to Bob Clark. Tries to get out in front, but it's Brad Clark. Leach on him. Takes the puck away. Stick handles. Has Bladen free at the right point. Can't get a stick down. To the line. Leach right there. Howard spun around by Clark. Lonsbury for Philadelphia. Back to Tom Bladen. Poked off his stick by Marcotte. Joe Watson calmly off the boards. Back into the Philadelphia zone, and I think we had a Bruin in the Philadelphia offensive zone.
That's the call. Offside at the blue line, and halfway there you heard a big roar when Tommy Blade missed that pass at the blue line. It was not his fault. He had to pull out at one stride in case the pass was intercepted. It's better when you've got a 2-goal lead to play a little bit more of a cautious game than it is when you're behind 2 goals where you have to gamble. At the point he didn't have to gamble, and then he just couldn't reach the puck quite enough to keep it inside the zone. But a good play on his part.
McLeish, but it's knocked down by Mike Milbury. Gets to the red line, almost ridden off by Rick McLeish. Stevenson gets his stick on it to Jimmy Watson. In comes Greg Shepard along with Wayne Cashman. Bruins sending 3 forwards into the Philadelphia zone. Daly beats Wensink to the puck to Rick McLeish behind Rick Smith. And he'll beat Billy Barber to the puck in the Bruin zone. That one goes into the seats. Face-off will be back in the Boston zone.
Bobby Clark's having an excellent night as far as face-offs are concerned. He's won 17 so far in this game, and that is one of the main reasons why Philadelphia is up 3-1. There you see Coach Don Cherry's record. He's 10-11 in 2 playoff seasons with Boston.
Into the corner. Off the stick of goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Off to Rick Smith. Forechecking for Philadelphia is Paul Holmgren. Knocked down deep in the Philadelphia zone by Daly. Glove-handed by Cashman as Holmgren is right there for Philadelphia. And we'll have a face-off right on the blue line as Cashman and Holmgren just look at each other.
Wayne Cashman, what a performer. He's He's hated in other rinks as much as Gary Dornhofer is hated outside of Philadelphia. And then when you get to Boston, he's loved as much as Dornhofer is loved here in Philadelphia.
And the human elbow is now back on the ice, replacing Paul Holmgren. As Greg Shepard loses the draw to Rick McLeish, hustling back as Rick Smith, as Milbury screens off Rick McLeish. Shepard with the puck as Moose DuPont comes deep into the Boston zone. Shepard spins away with the puck. Moose DuPont back checking nicely for Philadelphia, takes Shepard over the line. Wayne Cashman pulls up and drops it back for Rick Smith. 8:35 to go in the middle period, into the Philadelphia zone. Knocked down by Wayne Stevenson. DuPont goes off the board. Barber leaves it go, and icing will be the call when it's touched up by Mike Milbury.
Philadelphia's taken a page out of the Boston Bruins notebook by trying to get that puck and clear it out as quickly as possible, not allowing the very good forechecking Bruins to get in on top of them. Of course, what helps is this, is that the forwards are coming back very well on top of Boston, allowing the defense to stand up, and then once the puck is shot in, the defense are getting back up there and moving it up very quickly. Very see some Philly games coming up here on Prism in May. San Diego the 13th, the Dodgers 17th and 18th, and the 31st, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And we have an interesting scoreboard shot, if we can only get it, Bobby. Islanders in Montreal at the end of 2, scoreless.
One would have to think that the goaltending there is keeping that score down.
Moose DuPont with O'Reilly on him. McNabb throws it back into the corner. In comes Oris Kindrachuk, but it comes free to Moose DuPont. Looks for Don Selesky. Flyers can come out 3-on-2, but the Bruins have almost all 5 black shirts in the Philadelphia zone. Knocked down by Gary Doak. He is paired with Doug Howard. Howard, number 29 with the helmet. Pops it up to Jonathan. Throws it onto the glove hand of Kindrachuk offside as O'Reilly was over the line.
Very close. What happened there is O'Reilly only had one leg down on the ice at the time. The leg that he did have down was the one that was inside the Flyers' goal. There's a play right here as the puck is knocked down by number 8, McNabb. There it is. Oh, I don't know. It's very close. His right left leg wasn't really completely over.
Into the corner goes Joe Watson. Knocks down the rolling puck. Off to Bob Kelly. To Kindrachuk, to neutral ice, nicely back to Bob Kelly, to Kindrachuk, who is set up by McNabb, to O'Reilly. Joe Watson spins off O'Reilly. Stick handles for Philadelphia, moves right around O'Reilly's check. The Flyers have 5 people up, into the zone, in on goaltender Cheevers, to Stan Jonathan, gives away to Oris Kindrachuk, looks to Tom Blayton, 50-footer, deflected, Kelly falling down, picks up the loose puck, turnaround, underneath. Kindrachuk comes back to Joe Watson through a scramble. Deflected. Kelly looking for the loose handle. Shot. Shot again. Goes wide. Kindrachuk controls. Howard on Kindrachuk. Moves around O'Reilly. Moves around Gary Doak. Kindrachuk pinned it in the corner, and Wally Harris says face-off in the Boston zone.
What pressure by Philadelphia, especially by the Kindrachuk, Holmgren, and Kelly line. They've been coming on like gangbusters in this second period, and you see Jerry Cheevers taking that mask off to get somewhat of a breather. And you know, a lot of times, even though there's no shots being put down on the goaltender, it's just as tiring because you're trying to wondering when it's going to come. There's a stick getting up high on Cheevers. And he had to come up with a couple of screen shaves here. Now here's where the thing is bouncing all over the place. The action is fast and furious in front, but no shots are getting through. And the anticipation of that big shot just will wear out a goaltender as much as the actual shot itself.
7:05 to go in the middle period. Philadelphia 3 and the dark-shirted Boston Bruins 1. The Clark line on for Philadelphia as Freddie Sherrill, for some reason, I think, with a chance to give his big line a bit of a breather. Reggie Leach, Bob Clark, and Ross Lansbury. Clark looks for the handle, falls down, hustling for the puck is Brad Park, the all-star defenseman. Almost kept in the zone, and is by Reggie Leach, but it jumps over Kelly's stick. This will be icing when it's touched up by Jimmy Watson.
Flyers are doing a good job of pitching in on the Boston forwards. The Boston Wingers are up high along the boards, and Philadelphia is just moving their defense in and taking away that outlet pass and forcing the Bruins to have trouble getting out of their zone. If you've been wondering why the man that scored the overtime winning goal for Boston hasn't been out on the ice, it's because of Rick Middleton, of course, he's been out for the rest of the game with a pulled hip muscle. So Boston's skating with a man less.
Mike Milbury behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers as the Bruins try to get organized and set up. Nicely out of the stick of Shepard. Headman's at the boards. Back is Daly, and he got a piece of it. Well, Forbes just waved the stick at Bob Daly's face, and I don't think Daly took too kindly to that. Intercepted by Lonsbury. Tries in Reggie Leach. Back comes John Rutel. Daly off the left wing board to no one in particular. Brad Clark gives it away. Jimmy Watson. Oh!
There's a delayed offside call there when the puck was shot in initially. Bobby Clark was caught up along the boards near the Flyers bench. And it was a delayed call, and of course on a delayed offside, the defensive team gets the opportunity to get it out of the blue line zone to their zone before the other team touches it. That time Boston didn't, so the offside or delayed offside was whistled down. Dave Forbes, I think, was just sheer frustration. He didn't realize how long a reach Bob Daly had when he was trying to get a good shot away. Daly's big long stick came in there and knocked it away.
The Boston Bruins, Doug Howard throws it back into the Philadelphia zone. Stevenson leaves it go for Rick LaPointe. Almost gives it away to Cashman. It does. Out in front. Take it up, score! Greg Shepard, and it's 3-2. Philadelphia slow to cover. It's a brand new hockey game with just a little under 6 minutes to go in the period.
Lack of communication there. When the goaltender goes out to stop the puck, the other player should see who's coming along behind there. In that case there, one of the defensemen, either Dupont or LaPointe, should have yelled at Stevenson to say that Cashman was coming in. Stevenson would have cleared the puck away from him, but he didn't. Nobody said anything, and then Cashman picked up the puck. Shepard's left wide open in the spot. In it goes. 3-2 game.
So it's 3-2 with 5:53 to go in the period. All that pressure and all that force by Philadelphia with one cough up, and it's 3-2. I said ninth, that's Greg Shepard's fourth. Knocked down by Howard. Howard comes behind goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Rick McLeish forechecking deep for Philadelphia. Tommy Bladen keeps it in the Boston zone, but loses the handoff. Goes back to Dornhofer, tees it up, deflection. Oh, it's Rick McLeish trying to knock one home. Taken down. Wally Harris right there. Dornhofer right into Howard to recontrol. Tries to throw it out. The puck is beneath Dornhofer, and it may have jumped off the glass and then down into the seats, Bob.
I think so. Dornhofer made a pretty good check on number 22, Ryan Hallworth, and he's been out playing a lot more this second period than he did. You see this goal again, and this is the importance of communication. There you see right there, that's what after Cashman had picked it up. There's Shepard all alone. Both defensemen are caught behind the net. They have to have that centerman in front to do the checking on there to make sure that nothing like that, something like that doesn't happen. In that case, nobody was there. Shepard all alone, bang, 3-2.
5:30 to go in the middle period. Peter McNabb will take the draw with Rick McLeish. Throws it into the corner where Mike Milbury with McLeish on him. In comes Paul Holmgren. Sticks down, and Bladen tees it up. Off the stick of McNabb. Goes to Holmgren. Second shot. In front. And finally, it is Billy Barber coming away. Tries to throw it out in front. Stood up by Gary Duke. And it is Peter McNabb at center ice. Barber back checking for Philadelphia. Bladen into the corner, but Milbury will get there first. Along with Terry O'Reilly. Spun away. McNabb. Score! It's 3-3 hockey game. 2 giveaways and Ritol Motter.
Philadelphia is being very, very sloppy in their zone. Nobody's really staying in their position. They're hesitating. With that puck shot in with a defenseman standing up on the blue line, the wingers have to go back and pick up that puck. Nobody has done that so far in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and that's why this game is tied up. We pick it up here, the puck's going around. There you see 3 Flyers in there. All alone is Peter McNabb behind the net. Matty Hagman standing there, nobody checking it. The pass comes out, bang, it's in the net before you know it. You can't be mesmerized by that puck. You have to look around for your check.
Mike Milbury picking up his first ever Stanley Cup goal, and it is 3-3. Comes off the big Bob Daly. Gets to the red line, pumps it into the Boston Bruins zone. Little over 4 minutes to go. McLeish to Dornhofer. Kept in by Moose Dupont. Throws it into the corner to McLeish. Dornhofer is free. Shot! Score!
is Gary Dornhofer, and he just lets a low bullet go by Jerry Cheevers into the short side. Flyers lead it again. And Boston is guilty himself of standing around being mesmerized by the puck. Nobody picked up Gary Dornhofer. You have to pick up your check inside that defensive zone. Flyers guilty of it twice. Dawson guilty of it this time.
Gary Dornhofer scoring for the Flyers, assist to Rick McLeish and Andre Dupont.
Knocked down by Moose DuPont to Ross Lonsbury. Wally Harris is almost buried. The puck is beneath him, and Harris says, let's have a face-off here in neutral ice. Schwartz and DuPont pushing, but I don't think anything's going to develop there. 4:30 to go as Philadelphia scored 15 seconds after the Bruins knotted it. Gary Dornhofer getting his first goal.
Here's a replay again of that goal by Gary Dornhofer. McClish just wasting no time and spied Dornhofer all alone prior to getting that puck. He lets that low shot go by Cheevers, and that's what we talked about at the start of the game. When a guy like Cheevers is moving out like that to cut the angle, you have to shoot the puck low because it's tough to move when you're moving out.
5 goals in this middle period, and it is a 4-3 hockey game. Off to Rick Smith, gets to the red line, onside, Patel closes, shot, score, it's 4-4. Jeez and crackers, what a game!
This is a game of mistakes. Both teams are really good position-wise. Here's the play right there. Both defensemen getting caught hanging up the blue line. Don Rattel coming in with a perfect shot, beating Wayne Stevenson. This game's tied up again.
We have just had 3 goals in 39 seconds. I'm hoping that Superstats Billy Wendell can tell us what kind of record this might be. Clark, too far for Lonsbury. Caught up by Rick Smith. We have 4 minutes to go in the middle period. Off the boards for Schmaltz. Clark can't keep it, and Bruins coming 2-on-1. Patel, the forwards, holding. Great play by Jimmy Watson, and he hangs on. We're going to have a face-off and no penalty. The Bruins almost came back. Oh, is anybody playing defense?
Can't believe it right now. Both teams are pride themselves in their positional play, and smart hockey are making mistake after mistake, and not a. Here was a very dangerous play, but word for Jimmy Watson. This game could have been 5-4 for Boston.
It is anybody's hockey game at the moment. Certainly enough giveaways to last the season for both head coaches Fred Sherrill and Sherry for the Bruins. Here it comes on that breakaway. I didn't pick up the assist. It was Rick Smith, I think.
Yeah, he got a perfect pass to Jean Rattel, and in it goes. The fastest 3 goals by both teams was 38 seconds when Toronto and Montreal.
That ties it, Bobby.
Clashed in 1965. Montreal was in Toronto.
Bruce in front, knocked out by Billy Barber. The Bruins applying a lot of pressure. Marcotte in front, turning on it was Greg Shepard. Wayne Cashman takes a good hit from McLeish. Off to Billy Barber. Off to Tommy Blake. Lofts it out to Rick McLeish. The foot race is on. Hustling back is Mike Milbury. 3:35 to go in the period. Milbury loses it to Moose DuPont. To Dornhofer, can't get a stick down. McLeish, Marcotte gets there first. Back to Dornhofer. Through a screen into the corner to Billy Barber. Off the boards to Dornhofer. He should beat Marcotte to the puck and does. Looks for Barber. Too hot for him. Cashman, as Moose DuPont has to back up. The Bruins coming 3-on-3, and certainly what has turned into be a wide-open game. Dornhofer on Cashman, intercepted by DuPont. Goes into the zone and takes a good hit from Marcotte. Fresh troops on for Philadelphia. Milbury flying down the right wing. Flyers in somewhat of a slow line change. Kinderchuk loses to Jimmy Watson. Headmans it to Kinderchuk. Off the boards, Kinderchuk stick handles for Philadelphia to Jimmy Watson. Backhands it into the Bruin zone as Dornhofer gives way to Selesky. Milbury pulls up and will start the rush in the Bruin zone. Tries to clear the Wayne Cashman and does. Headmans it to McNabb. Throws it into the Philadelphia zone. 2:35 and counting. Great off the board for Jimmy Watson. Here we go. Daly and Wayne Cashman.
Big Daly and Cashman going at it. That's the first time I've seen Cashman. They're really going at it.
The big guy.
Cashman has gone skating around throughout the period there, the last 3 or 4 minutes, threatening everybody that came by him. And Bob Daly took him up on the threat.
the first time I saw the big guy go, and we knew it would have to explode. It's been that kind of game.
There you see a shot of Cashman. Well, I think he's trying to set some fire under his team to get this game going, keep them going in here. And there's Big Bob Daly going over to the penalty box.
Well, the way the bodies were starting to fly around, you would think this would have happened sooner or later as O'Reilly comes on for the Boston Bruins.
Definitely. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more fights, really. Both these teams play such a tough style, and they'd like to take the body, and when a lot of body checks occur, you know, the odd time the stick will get up and high, and it'll hit somebody the wrong way, and then down go the gloves, and away go the fists. But it's been relatively quiet, and there's Cashman and Selesky, and O'Reilly's over there. Everybody's over there now, and what's going on here?
Here we got a lot of folks coming off the bench. Let's see if Wally Harris can keep this thing squared away from turning into a full-scale roar, as we say.
Cashman doing a good job of instigating a lot. Now Jerry Cheever should stay back in the goal because he's coming out of the goal. That can constitute a 2-minute minor.
Cheever's indicating to the bench he just wants the water bottle.
I know, but he has no intention of getting out into that fracas, which is over by the penalty box. But you can't leave your goal crease when there is a schmozzle going on, as you could say. There it is, Daly going there, just glancing left here. It looks like the big guy's a left-hander. That would probably throw a lot of problems. Oh,
surprised the heck out of Cashman, especially as a right-handed shooter.
And Cashman throws him with the left too.
And number 2, Bob Daly, each 5 minutes for fighting. Starting penalty, 17 minutes, 29 seconds. Wayne Cashman of Boston, Bob Daly of the Flyers, each 5 minutes for fighting.
Well, they get 5 minutes, 2:31 in this period, and 2:29 to start the third period, as that is the extent of it at the moment. Flyers had moved out to what we thought was a commanding 3-1 lead, only to have Shepard and Milbury score within a minute. Dornhofer 15 seconds later, Rattel 23 seconds later to make a grand total of 3 goals in 38 seconds to tie a National Hockey League record if our stats are right. We'll know officially at the end of this period.
Well, 38 seconds is a record, like I said earlier, Hugh, between Montreal and Toronto. And if your calculations is right without your computer, we could have tied the record.
I thought Bobby early on in that middle period when Philadelphia really was just taking the game away from the Bruins and for some strange reason decided not to communicate, as you indicated on that one goal, an easy giveaway, and then the Bruins forced Philadelphia to another error and tied it at 3. Dornhofer quickly got it back. Then Rattel sent him on a breakaway to give the Bruins the tie.
You know, that's something that should not happen in playoff hockey. Mental mistakes like that. I mean, you can see maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, but not that many mistakes that have occurred by both teams here. Flyers making 3 real glaring errors in their zone, which you don't see Philadelphia make 3 errors like that in a whole game, let alone in a side of 30 seconds or 40 seconds. And of course, Boston, on the other hand, also made mistakes. Both teams are very strong in their own end usually, but not tonight, not in this second period.
Not at all. Okay, the draw will be in the Philadelphia zone where Bob Clarke will take it with John Rattel. Clarke gets a piece of it off to Tom Blade and spins around Forbes, tries the head man at the Reggie Leach, and it goes to Bob Clarke. Gets to the red line, and it goes into the Bruins zone, but the back-checking Rattel throws it in on goaltender Wayne Stevenson. It will die, and the icing is taken off as it's moved DuPont, pulling up behind Stevenson. Looks for Clarke in the slot, off the right wing for Reggie Leach. Foot races on, out comes Jerry Cheevers, and he hangs on. Oh, he lost sight of it. Finally gloved it. Face-off. exactly where Philadelphia wants it in the Bruins zone.
Boy, I'll tell you, if I was in the net there and I saw Reggie Leach coming down on me at full speed, I sure the heck get out there and freeze that puck as quickly as possible. Who would want that big guy coming down and unleashing a blister at him?
Bob Clark looking for some extra wind now as John Ratelle will take the draw. At the left of goaltender Jerry Cheevers. Flyers out shooting Boston at this stage of the game, 25-16. The Bruins with 9 in this period. Philadelphia with 14. But it's still 4-4. Ratelle and Clark. They'd like to get it back to Bladen. Or Leach comes back to Bladen, leaves it go off the board, through a screen, knocked down nicely by Mike Milbury. Off to John Ratelle to Don Marcotte. The Bruins coming 3-on-3. Marcotte takes loose DuPont wide in front is Ratelle, and it goes into the corner. But finally it's Ratelle pushing it into the corner where Bob Clark will get there first. Goes hard up the board to Ross Lonsbury. Lonsbury gets back off the boards to Reggie Leach. Leach back hands to Clark, and it comes free to neutral ice. The clock is stuck at 2:08. Wally Harris cannot see it. And finally, one of the linesmen, I think, blew the whistle, Bob.
I think so. That's what the big call was. That I don't know if it was a technical malfunction or else if the scorekeeper or the timekeeper in the penalty box was just so wrapped up in this game he forgot to turn it back on.
The minor officials, I might add, are not from Philadelphia but from Atlanta. They were from Washington in the first quarterfinal round. Here in the semifinals from Atlanta.
Man, what a list of highlights to be seen at the start of the intermission. All those goals.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to put up. Well, the one good sign anyway, a lot of people who were kept scoreless through the first 7 games, Moose DuPont, Gary Dornhofer, and young rookie Paul Holmgren all scored their first goal, first points, I might add. Only the Bird is looking for his first point.
Some May movies on Prism, of course, leading off The Godfather Part 2 and Silent Movie, another Mel Brooks flick. And I'll tell you, I saw the previews to that show, and I can't help but crack up every time I see it.
My man's Marty Feldman, anyway.
Oh, him and the wacky eyes. And W.C. Fields and Me. Excellent movies here on Prism in the month of May. There's a great scene in that Silent Movie, boy, when you see them on the merry-go-round that I will not reveal, but every time I see that man alive, I just have factiously. There you see, the clock was stuck at 2:08. Now they've moved it down to 1:45 left in the second period. Seems to have satisfied both teams, and now play will resume.
And every time the Bruins have been down, they've been able to fight back. Clark gets it to Joe Watson, tries to move around Ratelle, and headman it to Bob Clark. He fans on it. Ratelle picks it off for Boston. Back is Reggie Leach, and Ratelle throws it into the Philadelphia zone where it's Ross Lonsbury back checking and beats Marcotte to the puck. Throws it away to Joe Watson if he can only see Clark breaking, and it does come to Clark. Tries to go wing to wing. It is loose. Fanning on it was Marcotte. Comes off to right winger Bobby Schmott. With Lonsbury all over him, drops it off for Rick Smith. Joe Watson right there, but does get a piece of Bobby Schmott. Jimmy Watson and John Ratelle. Throws it wide. There's Reggie Leach to beat Marcotte to it. Throws it off the board. Goes to Ross Lonsbury. He gets it back to neutral ice. Clark intercepts for Boston. Offside face-off, and neutral ice as Ratelle was trapped.
With that break in the action there, where they fixed up the clock there, the pace has slowed considerably. Of course, it's getting down to that time when nobody wants to get scored on in the final minute of the period. 1:04 to be exact that's left in this second period, and both teams now will be checking. They've made numerous mistakes this second period. They'll be very conscious of that in the intermission.
Couple of 19s with Tom Bladen with the puck for Philadelphia. Backhands it to Moose DuPont, intercepted by Greg Shepard. Backhands it into the Philadelphia zone. Hustling forward is Moose DuPont for Philadelphia. Beats Stan Jonathan to it. Goes off to Gary Dornhofer. Flyers can come out 3-on-3. Too hard for Gary Dornhofer. Intercepted by Barber. Spun around nicely by Milbury. Shepard for Boston. Down the left wing. Dornhofer draped on him. Barber takes down Stan Jonathan. Throws it and turns back into the Boston zone. 35 and counting. As Gary Doak is back quickly for the Boston Bruins. Rick McLeish forechecking for Philadelphia. Dornhofer stands up and Bladen throws it right back into the Boston zone. Foot race is on, but it's Jerry Cheevers for Mike Milbury. Backhands it. Bladen tries to beat Stan Jonathan to it. Takes down Jonathan, and away comes Greg Shepard. Goes wing to wing onto McLeish's stick. Flyers starting to look a little flat here. Barber has the puck, and it's a two-line pass, I do believe.
I think both teams, especially Philadelphia, are being very, very cautious. There we see a shot of Billy Barber that really hasn't been heard of too much this period, or pardon me, this playoffs this year. He's had knee problems and trouble getting untracked.
Barber, usually one of the playoff leaders for Philadelphia, especially with assists and goals. Coming into tonight's game, Billy Barber had 19. We have 12 seconds to go. Brad Park with the puck, lofts it into the Philadelphia zone. There is Jimmy Watson behind goaltender Wayne Stevenson. Tries to clear out, knocked down by Kinderchuk. Zaleski breaking, but poked away by Park, and down goes Horace Kinderchuk. And that's the end of the period with the score. Philadelphia 4 and the Boston Bruins 4.
What a period it was.